and Dinakshie and Raini.
Hi, I'm Hanna. Hi, I'm Shifani.
Hi, I'm Amilani.
Hanna.
Hi, Shifani. So, we need to play a game of Jenga.
Hi everyone, so we're here. We're going to play Jenga. I'm here with my friends Dinesh, Zahara, Dasuni and Yureni. Yureni, why don't you go first?
Okay. You shall.
Yes.
Why do you have to put me in trouble all the time? Okay.
So let's make it easy. Why don't we talk about you?
Would you rather be a woman or a man? Or remain a woman or become a man for the rest of your life? I'd respect, both genders. Being a woman, being a man, each of us have responsibilities, and I think life is there to enjoy and make the most of it. So even if you're born a woman or a man, I think irrespective of the gender, we're all being called for a purpose. We are all being called to enjoy life because we're blessed with an amazing human life. And we got to make sure that while we live our best lives to contribute back to something back to the world and make the most of while we're alive, because now things are going personally, so you don't know whether we'll be alive tomorrow. So, I'd respect any gender, be a woman or a man, I think, but being a woman, I think we're blessed to be, I think we're blessed to produce a younger generation. So that's an extra blessing, we can be a woman, so I think men doesn't have that. So that's an extra, and that makes a woman extra special.
This is where I want to pitch in about men. This is something which we don't see. The society has the same sort of pressure on men as well, even though we see it that way. So it's the other way around for them. It's about how much money you make. Because you need to take care of your family. You're the man in the house. You can't dress a certain way. Pink is not for you. Or you can't talk. You can't show emotion. Boys not cry. So we don't see there's another story as well. So there are a lot of, and especially if the wife starts making more money, then the wife is more prominent, then there are a lot of fingers pointed at him as well. So we don't see the other side of being a man. And if they are not physically capable of, physical activities, that is also demeaning. They have so many things on men's mental health as well. So everybody has their own story which we don't see. So I think it's the same thing. In one way or another, it's how you take yourself in, how you give credit to yourself. Whether you're a man or a woman, we all go through so much in life, and people expect so much out of you. Especially if I know men who are fathers, their parents pass away, they should take the entire burden of a family. Even if the father passes away, the son has to take the family responsibility, not the mother, but the son. These are the societal expectations out of if the son is grown enough, like maybe 18 or something, the society automatically expects the son to take care of the sisters, to protect the sisters, to go with them, to drop them, to pick them up. So these are the things which we don't see in men on men's perspective as well. So this is a really good question on the Women's Day, which I need to make a point out that whatever the gender you are, whether you're bi, or whether you're trans, whether you're a man or a woman or anything, everybody has their own story to tell. Everybody has their own responsibilities and goals and passions of their own. Just be true to yourself and passionate about it. I think that's what. So for me, I'm happy who I am. That's why I said I'm in a very good space at the moment. So just be happy with who you are, with what you've got, and make the most out of it. And be passionate about what you do.
Sorry, Dinakshie, you got this.
Yay! I've been facing challenges all my life, so I know this. Let's rip it up.
Yeah.
Just for like really fast. Yeah. question?
No question.
Wow, you're
Lucky.
Lucky you. Like, what does being a woman mean to you?
How deep?
Okay, so I feel being a woman is the most glorious and wonderful thing that any human being could ever have. So being a woman, you are multi-talented, you are multitask, and she's the only species in the world who can do everything and who has the power to do it because you have the strength, you have the ability of having that good strength. So I believe being a woman is the best thing ever. So being a woman, it keeps the world going, right? Yes. It keeps the world going. Without women, there's nothing happening. No existence in life.
What makes you feel empowered? I think being empowered comes from a lot of sources. I think a lot of feeling empowered for me personally comes through my own experiences, my own challenges that I've overcome. I think for anybody to feel empowered is to first understand yourself. I think that comes from like a very deep root of thought. You have to sit with yourself and understand your strengths as much as your weakness. And in order for you to empower somebody, I truly believe that you need to empower yourself first. And there's no point in you trying to, let's say, inspire so many women if you yourself is not motivated by the cause of being empowered. So that's what it is to me to truly understand myself, my strengths, my weaknesses, and how I go about it, and then help others as well. So yeah, that's that.
What are some of the stereotypical ideologies about women that you hate? Don't think like that. I think one of the things I hate is that women, I think one of the greatest myths is that women cannot be professional. They are more emotional creatures, and so they have to be constantly taken care of. They can't be relied on to implement a plan or given any kind of responsibility. Exactly, which is such a myth because in my work, the women are some of the best planners and most smart leaders. I think it's because women get criticized a lot in I feel like in a way that sort of strength. It trains you. Yeah, like do better, and you have to keep leveling up, and you have to keep proving yourself in a way. So you have to kind of work harder than everyone else. I think one of the points you mentioned in the previous question was how when you have a child, family, you're expected to do a certain way, behave a certain way, and then like let go of work and everything.
Yeah.
That would be one of the points for the stereotypes.
Yes. So luckily, like I have a good husband who would like support and who would be like, you know, who would support literally like last CFW. He would care for myself like for like 2 weeks in a row. He would like literally do everything because he knew that I was like under so much of pressure, and because of all these like everything got boiled up with all this like this heating pandemic thing which we are struggling into, like literally like the prints, everything got delayed because nuns had COVID running, and it was just, I don't know how I got it done in the end. I actually don't know how I could get everything, all things which were like outsourced got delayed because of COVID. So like these are little things like I think you need to see when you have like I said, when you have a good support system, it doesn't matter. Like for me, it doesn't matter. Even if people are up, you just think that, oh my god, she's not paying her, like you know, she's not giving Hassan a bath or whatever at this point. Yeah, so but that doesn't matter. But if my husband is fine with that, that's alright. Like I mean, you should give credit to yourself, and you should be alright with what you do. But then now I'm back to my normal routine. Now that the CFM is over, now I'm just like, you know, full on mama mode, and like you know, he went on a boys trip, and you know, like that's where the balance comes in, because you need to give favorite is in both ends as well. So, where did I stop? I can't remember. Yeah, so it should be from, I think you should manage it in both ends because you just can't be like, women empowerment now that I have like, I'm taking care of my blah, 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 and then from take care of it just to jump back on. So you need to be liberal to your heart. That's what I feel. Then only that proper balance in life comes. I feel. My personal opinion, like I want to be married for like 1 years now, so I don't have much experience in this field, but I think that's what you need to do, like just be yourself and just be happy with who you are. I think that is really important. Most of the time what I feel is that we pressure ourselves, we judge ourselves more than anyone else. We try hard just to show that, no, I'm better at everything or better at this, but be yourself. Just cut nails and do what you love. And actually you'll probably place.
I think it's also, I kind of like the stereotypical attitude sometimes because, yeah, I don't know why.
Why?
Okay, because it's like, I'm like, yes, please underestimate.
Oh, right.
And then I'm like, surprise, boom, boom. Like, like when I go around with the camera, and then if I go to a convention, it's like mostly guys, and then especially in my own community, people might underestimate me and be like, okay, let's see what you're going to do. And I kind of like surprising people, and I kind of take it as a kind of a fun challenge. I get a kick out of being like, okay, I'm going to be calm, I'm not bothered by what you think. And then, yeah, let my work speak for itself. And I think that, in that sense, that narrative actually adds more to the punch of the work that you do as a woman.
Yeah. No, that's quite true. I've surpassed that before. Just like, I can't be bothered. Like I really can't be bothered. Like I think I've like gone through in a way that like I'm not bothered about what others even expect out of me, or whether they are underestimating me or whether they are overestimating me. I'm just gonna be like, this is just me. This is who I am. At these, like, when I have a lot of work, and this is how I'm gonna be, and I'm alright with my work. This is how my life is gonna be. I just, it's just if everybody around you are alright or like they're okay, I'm okay. I just like after some time I think you just surpass that, like what other people expect out of you, or how deeply they think of you, or how it doesn't matter. Like for me, I've come to that safe
I think
space.
I can only relate to that in terms of when I'm getting married. I believe it's in us so much that I'm just, it's like just wife nights now.
No, I had that for like 3. I had that for like before. I don't know. God knows what. Because I
Since I was
started
20, I think, but such a ridiculous age also. Let me finish my studies and get a job and be happy in life before doing, the marital stuff.
Yeah, that's another very important, I think, stereotype that you have to get married and have children in order to live a full life. I think it's a choice. I think people should be allowed a choice. Yes, I want to get married and have kids. But even if you don't, or even if it's not happening to you or whatever, like there is also way more to life and way more to who you are as a person outside this structure of who you are in relation with.
Yeah. So true.
The choice is important. I think I've met so many people who haven't had a choice and have had to get married.
All this when you are a journalist, I would say from my experience, one of the first instances I felt that was heavily stereotyped was the fact that they were like, women can't stay out late because it's not safe. And I was like, why is it? Like, I was always the person to ask this question. I think one of the most stereotypical ideologies, especially in this country, not just when it comes to my profession in general, is that women cannot handle themselves out alone and they would need someone's support. So that is something I have personally like worked really hard on sort of breaking that stereotype completely. And I just generally don't like that stereotype, because that sort of insinuates that, you know, we cannot handle ourselves past 7 p.m. But if you really look at the question, if you break it down, the reason it's not safe is not because of women, it's because of the other gender, or because of the lack of education given to the other gender. So I think stereotypes in general, a lot of these come because of a lot of cultural constructs that have been developed over time. And like I said, the younger generation is really working hard to break that.
Yeah, the stereotype I think is like once it's pretty.
Her life is over.
Her life is over, right? And it's just that you can't go out, you can't use your life, you can't simply have a life for yourself. It should also mean coming together is a different thing in a marriage, but also two individuals. You have your, you know, everyone has their, you know, life to each their own, but then once you get married, the female has to give up everything, whereas the man can go out and, you know, trips, parties, you know, whereas the wife has to stay at home, look after, make sure everything. So that's it.
Not to mention the constant questions. When's the baby coming?
When's the baby coming? That's the pressure from, you know, everyone else around you. So that, and then coming from my industry, women needs to dress up like, you know, a certain way. When I entered the industry in 2007, nobody in our industry has known anything about the knees. So when I started wearing short skirts or shorts, everyone just, you know, it took everyone by surprise, and everyone's like, how can she wear it? And I'm the outspoken, and everyone's like, how can she talk like that? There is like, we're expected to talk a certain way, dress a certain way in this country. And if you don't, you know, live up to the standards, you're being called names. In Sinhalese, you're being called 3-letter word, 2-letter. You know, it's sad because you're being judged by how you speak, or how you, if you're outspoken, if you're an opinionated person, you know, they'll have so many things to say, or when you dress up a certain way, they'll have so many things to say. I think those needs to be, those stereotypical ways of looking at judging, you know, women needs to be stopped immediately. And that has to start from the root of the, you know, from, you know, education. The education just should not be just 2 + 2 is 4, but it should be, you know, where we need to include things like, you know, women empowerment, you know, about being, you know, more logical, practical things need to be included in our education. I think where when you grow up, you become better humans, not just, you know, robots who get 3 A's and 8 A's, but you become a better person in society. So,
and preconceived notions of if you are an athlete, you should look like this, you should act like this, you should talk like this, you should eat like this. If you're an actress, if you're a model, if you're a designer, if you're a CEO, an educator, preconceived notions that are just projected. So I think, as you were saying, with the younger generation working so hard, one of the things that I believe through education also is give everyone a blank sheet of paper to write their own story. Don't judge based on, oh, she's in this industry, so she's like this, or, you know, she likes to go out, so she's like this. You know, it's just labels that it's very unfair, and those are some of the things that need to be worked on.
yeah, actually, you see, it's mostly women get labeled in our society. Either when you're married, you know, it's pretty sad.
Yes, there's one other element as well, the dark-skinned ladies. We go through a lot. At least in our junior days, like school days, I think a lot of us have gone through a lot of crap with that. Now, when you look back, you think, oh gosh, why did we suffer like that? Why did our self-esteem suffer like that? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But unfortunately, it's something that our society does. Men don't get that. It's all dark.
Yeah, yes.
How can women work across the divides of opinions? I think part of our DNA is having our own opinions. We have these amazing women around us today, and all of us can have our own opinions, our own thought processes. But as Yureni so beautifully put it, we're each in a unique position to be able to do our best and to give back. And as long as our opinions do not cause more divides, we live in a world that is shrinking. We need to bring everyone closer. I think opinions are great. Just make sure that it's all encompassing. And for me personally, I think whatever I say, whatever I think, whatever I do, I try to be as inclusive as possible. That's my opinion.
I think we were covering those.
Yeah, we covered almost everything. I think you should do what you actually feel like doing without, you really don't have to give in to any other's perspective or opinion. Just believe in yourself.
I think that's what makes more of us happy.
Yeah, that's what I
We don't really care about
all
what
my
people
life.
say.
But to be honest, at the beginning of my career, I was really thinking about what the rest of the world would think of me. So I was actually trying to please everyone else and trying to live a life according to what people want to see in me. But after some time, I realized, no, this is not me. I need to be myself. Then I started living my life the way I want. I do respect people when they say something nice to me or when I feel I'm not doing the right thing and if people are trying to correct me,
There's a
go
meaningful
ahead.
opinion that you can consider.
Yes. If not, if I'm believing in myself and if I'm thinking I'm right, I'll just go ahead with my thing.
Yeah.
I think we were just talking about that also.
It's all about intention, I think.
Yeah,
Right?
about all the negative things that we, because social media is a double-edged sword. You put something out there, you think, something positive through that, but there might be someone who gives, or a whole bunch of people who give like a whole different kind of, negative perspective to everything. But like, for me, actually, it feeds me to do better, to better myself every single time. But for everyone, it doesn't work like that. So, I generally like to put a message out there saying, try to be more positive instead of negative, because that will help you in your own life and other people to have a better opinion of you and also to feel better about themselves. At the end of the day, I think all of our religions, whatever religion we follows the same theory of loving and being kind to everybody else. So if we all practice loving kindness, I think generally we have a good vibe going around, right?
That's true.
Yes. I think people are not ready to accept themselves. They need to accept themselves first to spread some positivity to the world.
And I also think that people are not ready to accept when somebody's kind. Because they can't believe that somebody can be that kind. Because sometimes I get all these, to be honest, I don't get a lot of harsh comments. I don't.
Because you're so nice.
So I just get maybe once a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once a week.
Yeah, unless
I get to write some of mine to you if you want to. So I have a lot of them.
And so actually just yesterday, my sister is getting ready to release a new song.
Yes, I
so
saw.
she did this TikTok. And she's just having a mug and she's just chilling, just singing the song. And I want to be the first one to do a TikTok to the audio. So I did one exactly the way she did it with the mug.
Yeah.
And I posted it last night itself because it was just 50 minutes apart. And this morning, I'm just saying these are little things. It's not even negative. I don't think you would consider this negative, right? So this person said, it's amazing how you guys can copy each other. And then she started laughing. She's like, I watched your sister's original video and now this. It's crazy how you guys can just and it was sort of mean to me because I don't get harsh comments. So, but I always reply and I always try to reply to my
hands or in the comments, and I try to be as kind as possible and humane as possible. So I said, this is not my way. Just a TikTok from my dad from my sister.
Oh, they thought that you were singing.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But I mean, who would not know the
Then I
difference?
voice teams season 1.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was the peak of the harsh comments of my life. And I think you saw how I handled it.
Yeah.
And people started apologizing to me right after my reply because they were like, oh my gosh, you're so kind. We don't want to be mean to you anymore.
You know, when you spread kindness, you emit it, right?
People, when they meet me, they're like, can somebody be so kind? And I said, yeah, there are so many people who are kind. And there are so many people who can handle it in ways that people should understand that this is not the way to speak. So I feel like maybe I'll take over your social media.
Yeah.
Yours all. I'll start because I have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
So I have time also.
You can teach me patience.
I think my patience, I got it from my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she's not as patient as I am, but patient, yeah. But I learned it from her that it's important.
Right. Yes, of course. It's very important.
Yeah. I think in life, generally as women, especially, we need patience because we have to deal with a whole lot of things.
And especially when you're in this industry,
Yeah.
you need a lot of patience.
Yeah. I think I'm still
And it's a
growing.
very difficult thing to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? I think we can't even learn learning.
To experience it.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, it's just
You have to grow.
you can't learn anything.
Yes.
I mean, like you can have an understanding about it, but then you can't just change yourself like that. But it has to come with the understanding within. Then you change. Or, okay, that's a lot of.
We talked about like, you know, for one question we talked for
I
like
feel
1
so
hour.
wise being with you.
Yeah.
And it's
It's like they're very deep questions.
They are.
So it's your fault.
I hope I
You're not
understood
very
that
clear.
question right. Yeah.
and it's such a wide perspective on one question from this like, you know, different like, you know, fields plus age groups and experiences. It's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. How do you balance career, personal life and passion? There are such things as factors. Okay. Interesting question. So this how do I do it? Okay. So I think from a young age I have been encouraged to do a lot of things. It's one thing that I feel I owe it to my mom. You know, she always said strive for your best. Don't leave things done in a half-hearted way. Do your best in everything. So I feel I think that has been instilled in me from, you know, my younger days as well. So from my younger days to finishing education, to starting the business while giving birth to my firstborn, you know, it was something that I am proud of up to date because I can always look back and say, okay, I did this for him. You know, so each milestone, there's always some story behind it. There's a story behind the magazine, there's a story behind events, and I try to link it with my kids because at the end of the day, they are my passion.
That's a really good question. And I think that's a question that I've been dealing with, especially the past 2 years, the pandemic, and how do you actually create synergy between personal life and work. And now I try to kind of bring it together, try to make my work my privilege, and try to find joy in whether I'm in a workspace, you know, or with my friends or with family. How can we kind of replicate the same values of empathy and respect and dignity and kindness? And I think that's a cool way to go about it, and kind of change this old work ethic idea that work has to be unpleasant, suffering.
So it's more like merging work and passion together.
Exactly. And I think that actually is a good investment into your work. I mean, there's actual joy in it, some brilliant productivity comes out of it.
It's really good answer.
That is. I
So
mean,
balance does exist.
yeah.
I think balance should exist, and if you are feeling out of balance, and you're feeling out of balance, I think it's time that you need to kind of stop, pause, and reassess. How do I make this work together instead of trying to, handle talking about it? How do we make it all kind of organically? Yeah, exactly. What do you think? Work life? I know you have kids.
I know. So mine is like literally, I work, like my personal life and my work life is like quite like my career is my just because I want to spend time with my son. So I've been doing this for like the past 3 years, and it has been quite. It is challenging now that he can walk about and all that, and he sometimes he walks into literally, yeah, literally he would be like, Ami, knocking on the door while the videos are going on. But it has been good. Like I can't complain. I love being a mom. I love being a designer. I love doing what I do. So I can't actually complain about that. I don't know whether I balance it out or not. That is completely up to my clients and my son to say and my husband to say. But I think I'm more or less alright, I guess. But I think that's how you take life as is, and how the support system also helps a lot. Yeah, I feel like you need to have like a good support system along with you to have that balance with your career and your personal life, I feel. Especially when you're married and when you have kids.
Which I will experience someday.
Which you will experience someday. But anyway, for you as well, Hannah, so you need to have like a good partner. You need to have that idea that you need some time on your own for your work.
Do I have a good partner?
I don't know. You need to tell me. So I mean, I think that really like that's what leads to a lot of issues at the end where this whole women empowerment comes along, because us as women, like, we're biologically made to reproduce, and there are a lot of expectations out of us. That is like a norm thing, but when you have a good support system which understands what you actually want to do, it's just, that is very important. Mutual respect, what you want to do. Just because you have a home doesn't mean that you have a child or like get married or anything.
I think that has to do with support system inside yourself.
Yes.
How much are you going to respect yourself and know yourself?
That is true. Sometimes what I realize is that even if you think other people are judging you, but they are actually not, you're judging yourself.
Yeah.
But it could be like a part of how you're brought up and what you're brought up around.
Exactly.
So when you grow up, you need to identify this isn't how it's meant to be.
Yes.
You can create your own, this is how I want to be.
So true.
I have no balance by
Work. Okay, that's where
joy.
It is joy. Yes. It is joy. It is sound balance.
Yeah. You love what you do.
And I think our mental health is something that affects your work and your day. And I think if you have that as first priority, I think you can kind of create some balance.
For sure.
For us, I mean, obviously we know, right? Only balance.
There is always a balance.
There's only balance.
There's always a balance in the ecosystem, otherwise it doesn't. See, this is our balance.
We are women equals equilibrium.
Wow.
For instance, today I had a power cut at 8:30. Okay, so this is how I balanced my day. I woke up at 7:30, made sure that I had a shower. I did my makeup when the lights went out. That was bad plan. But anyway, I'm saying I planned the day in little blocks. So if we don't balance everything, then nothing's going to get done for us. And we are really good planners, right? I think women plan a lot.
I think I'm really good at on-the-spot decisions, where like sometimes because I take one day at a time. I don't really, well,
now I do plan a little ahead, like when it comes to my goals and everything. But I live in the moment. That's what I wanted to say. So like if something just happens right now, I can just think and I can just come up with like 2 or 3 ideas and I can give you options, and then we can just move on, and it'll be a good one.
But it's a plan though.
Yeah, it is. But I'm saying like I think women are like that. We're very flexible.
Yeah. We think on our feet, no?
Yeah, because most people I've met, they're very stuck to their decision, and if something goes wrong, they can't move on from it. They're like, oh my god, they start, getting all pressured and everything. And whereas I, at the most pressure, for me, I'm not talking about everybody, but for me, if I'm in a situation where I'm most pressure, that's when I'm most calm.
Okay.
I'm so calm. I would like
Well, I think that's your superpower.
Maybe. Because, like, let me say, when my parents went through the politics and all that, those problems, even then, I was very calm.
Okay.
Even when my house was on fire, I was very calm. I get like distressed over little things like, like the little social media comment, and then I calm myself and then I comment nicely. But at the most pressure times, the times that I should be really distressed, I've been very calm. I can't cry. I can't cry at all. No tears come on my eyes. Because I'm completely focused on like the situation. Because I feel like it's my responsibility to take care of everyone.
Yeah, you just need to give some time and those moments.
I do cry over the slightest thing.
Yeah.
For movies, anything emotional?
You're empathetic. I mean, we all remember during The Voice. And then I used to control myself because I don't want people to think like, because most people think that we're faking, right? And I have such a, I give out such a strong vibe to people that people are like, she's like a tomboy,
Yeah, people don't think that of me either. They think like, I always tell you this, and Sanuka also, I've told him, when fans meet me, they're like, okay. And I'm just like, okay, hold on a second, hang on. What's going on here? Because I'm a pretty normal person. Like, I don't have people in my blood whenever I walk. I don't walk like a gangster. It doesn't happen. And I slightly get like afraid, like, should I approach these people or what should I do? And I'm a really sensitive person. Not a lot of people know that unless you're in my circle and you really know me, right? I cry for everything.
Same here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the moment I get angry, I just cry.
Right?
Yeah, that's what
So
I do.
with my parents,
I don't fight. Right.
like I want to argue, but I don't argue back with my parents. So the first thing I do is I start bawling out. And then my dad goes, "Now why are you crying? Why are you crying?" I'm not crying. It just happens. I don't know. It just happens automatically. Because it's just how it is.
No, and another thing is, I don't think that you should hold back your emotions ever. Because if you do, you're just becoming a different person. Yeah, you're making yourself hard. That's not required. You should go through the emotion and get over it. Then after that, you feel fine after that. If you suppress it, it keeps coming back to you.
Guys, there was this one time where I was in a very bad place, and I stopped crying. So sometimes I feel hurt, but I can't cry anymore because I forced myself to not cry.
Yeah.
And then I just got used to it. And then I started feeling like a robot. Because I was just hurting. I was like, it's okay. Yeah, I would get over it. And then I started feeling bad because I felt myself changing.
Yeah.
I was getting angry at every little thing. And then I had to sit back and really let my emotions out that one time. But that one time after I let it all out, I was back to being the normal, regular crying Raini. And I love her.
Crying Raini.
Yeah, I love because whiny.
Crying.
Whiny Raini. My sister calls me whiny because so yeah, I'm whiny Raini.
Okay. Do you think the role of a woman is harder than a man or vice versa? Why? Okay, so I guess this is a double-ended question, I guess. The role of a woman is portrayed as
actually harder than men because, society's norm is that we have to learn to balance everything. We cannot slack in any area. We have to be a good housewife, we have to be a good wife, we need to be a good businessman, a good businesswoman, a good anything. We cannot be seen as weak because the moment you tend to slack in a certain area, you're like, okay, so you can't handle it. But I feel men have it easier. I'm not, totally for it in a way like that, but I don't know. What do you think?
And the role of teacher as well.
Teacher as well, yes, for sure. Especially during the pandemic. Yeah, teacher, cook, driver, everything falls into one. And I feel we have a lot of expectations as society.
And also, Michelle, I feel that in the Western countries, now they divide the work, like men and women, they equally divide the work, and everyone needs good education. But still, on this side of the world, this part of the world, it's just that women are expected to do all the chores, like, to clean, to cooking, to then go work, then have to do the children's work, and sometimes men on this side of the world don't seem to, appreciate as much as they need to.
Yes.
So I think it's about time that we have to, have a change in attitude and, treat women with more respect and, applaud, for their skills,
I feel it was both ways, not just getting respect from men, but equally from women as well. Because I feel that there's a lot of criticism there. I mean, being a woman, you tend to judge other women quite easily, which I feel should be eradicated as much as possible.
and men don't do that.
Yeah.
If I may just add something to that, I feel that it is in the hands of all the young, wonderful women out there also, because a mom's role is to raise sons in a society where they know that it is an equal responsibility. As she so rightly put it, our part of the world, men are generally raised to believe that there's such segregated roles and this is a woman's job, this is my job, whereas as a mother, when you're raising your sons, I think that is an added responsibility to make sure that your sons know when they go out into the world, they also share the workload with their significant other, with their sisters, their moms, their colleagues, whoever. So I think there's a lot of wonderful things in the future. It's just we have to work harder at getting it done.
And change is happening. There's already starting.
Yes.
I think like the whole concept of a role of women, especially in the subcontinent, is mostly to do with a lot of stereotypes and how these things are viewed. But if you look at it from a statistical point of view, sorry, I'm being too serious, but the backbone of like our economy relies mostly on women. Most of textile around the world is our women who bring in a lot of foreign revenue. Most of one of our biggest exports, tea, again, a lot of tea plantation workers are women. But then the sort of the image or sort of the stereotype we put on women is always to beneath a man, to rely on a man. So I think education in that level is very important. And I think we are sort of making great strides in terms of education and awareness as well.
If I can also bring on a slightly different perspective here, organizations can also do a couple of things, right? How many companies give paternity leave in Sri Lanka? Really none, right? So maybe they do have a role to play in getting the fathers
Good point.
and the men more involved.
Might as well just pick something.
We always get questions. What does International Women's Day mean to you? Celebrating women's strengths, their achievements, their beauty, their weaknesses. Even weaknesses we must celebrate, right? Weakness is what makes us who we are. So all women coming together and celebrating each and every woman around the world and applaud, proud of their achievements, success, and coming together and celebrating this beautiful day. I think Women's Day not just should be resorted to just one day. It should be celebrated every day. 365 days, women should, appreciate and celebrate, everyone, because we deserves it for all the hard work we put in, and women now more than ever. I think we've started running the world. All the top organizations in the world, women are heading. Be it fashion, be it governments, be it anything. Women are heading. They've taken the lead now. So I think women should be given due respect and should be celebrated every day of the year. And 8th of March is a special day because we celebrate us. And it's an excuse to spoil us. Which is, it's a day to spoil us.
Right. So what's the greatest hurdle you've overcome as a woman? Well, I've overcome quite a lot of hurdles in life. Maybe the biggest hurdle with my getting married, and especially getting married to a divorced person and going through that the period of time, 5 years, it's been 5 years for me. So from the time I started dating him up to now, I've been getting a lot of criticism. So going through that period was really hard. So overcoming that was my biggest hurdle in life, I guess, because before that I've been through a lot in life, but there was no social pressure on me. So this was big for me. That was the first time where the entire country was against me and bringing out their opinion. And
How did you manage all that?
how did you raise the first step? And the main thing was it was true to my heart, and I always believed that time will heal everything. And being true to myself was the biggest thing I had, and knowing that I'm not at fault. So that kept me going. So I was thinking, it's okay, let people say whatever they want to, let them judge me, but I know what I'm doing and I know it is the right thing to do. That's all I believed in. But that period was very hard, and I was almost going into depression. But I think, as I said before, I had a great support system. They were always behind me. And yes, my husband, he's always been there for me. He was always there for me. I guess that's
That's really important. The support system is so important.
Yeah, you guys are so good together too.
I really feel for you when I say hats off for you. I can really imagine how you are gone, especially with you becoming a celebrity and everybody's looking up to you and the pressure.
What is the one thing you wish more people would know about you?
I'm so sorry.
I mean, we're just awesome.
That is a really good one. She has a really good one.
What is it? I didn't hear you.
Body shaming. Mostly the common thing that we all get.
Now you're looking up for sure.
I think we are all victims of that, right?
There's something.
You're too fat or you're too thin. Or you're too fair or you're too dark or you're too short or you're too tall.
See, for me, makeup makes me a little tanner than I am. So when I wash my face, I'm a little lighter than I usually am. Honey, what else? Like in person. You're not bad. Yeah, we're.
wrong in trying to, a fat person trying to be thin or thin person trying to be thin. We need to recognize this.
I was asking.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
Acceptance is very, very important.
Yeah. And self-acceptance more than anything else, isn't it? Because all of these insecurities come from not accepting oneself. If we think, then you're going to be judging the other person that you see also with that inner reflection of yourself, right? If you're confident in your own skin, then you will not be judging anybody harshly. If you don't have any insecurities or have as least as possible insecurities about yourself,
Self-love,
then self-love. If you love yourself to the extreme where there's a lot of self-care, then you will care about other people too on that level, and you won't be rude, right? So I think there are a couple of things that we need to change about our culture first when it comes to scrutinizing everybody under a magnifying glass and like just judging beauty and things only at face value. And if we can do that, then I think Sri Lanka and the world also will be a better place.
That's true.
Yeah.
So to answer this question, let me just say it out loud again. What is one thing you wish more people would know about women? I think, because since we spoke about a lot of
Body shaming.
things, I think this is very important for everybody to know out there, that we have a kick-ass intuition. Yeah? We know when something's happening before it happens, right? You just feel the vibe because I think we're the strongest species, if I say. We just feel it.
To add to that, Mega's question is that I'm always 3 months ahead of the thing.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I won't be planned. I will be minus a lot of things in my household if not for that fact.
It's, which is why I think that women can a role like DNA to all of us. As in, how people say, oh, you're a woman, you're supposed to do that. I think that has just derived from where women just know what to do at the end of the day. Even though it's everybody says that men are decision makers, yes, in a certain
women are too. I think it should be equal. And also, you put a woman into the equation with a whole bunch of people working, they will organize everything perfectly.
I feel women are better leaders when it comes to any association with the government, because there is this versatility in women who can communicate with other systems, and you just add that.
That's true, because in aviation, if you take all the crashes and everything, it's mostly by men that's happening. I mean, if it's a human fault, it's because men are more risk takers, and for women, they barely take any risks at all behind the wheel, as in flying. I'm not talking about anything else. So even when it comes to that, I think it's, even if you take safety and all that stuff, you're not talking about, oh my god, when I use this word safety, people always take it wrong. You guys safe and your children. I'm not talking about that kind of safety. I'm talking about risk taking and all that stuff. So we are risk takers, but we only take risks if we know that we can do it. We don't just take it rather than come up we always take a risk if we know how to handle the whatever you get out of it. So yeah, just know that we have a kick-ass intuition. That's all I want you to know.
What do you do when you don't feel motivated? Quite rare for me, because I have a lot of energy. I'll probably help my second born. First one's very naughty. She's 5 years old. She's very naughty. So I'll help the second born because she's only 7.5 months. And then she takes away all my stress.
Okay.
It's one of the amazing things that I have in life that I've realized recently only after this baby came along, because work has become very stressful in the last couple of years going to the pandemic and being from home and all of that. I love my work, I love my job, but when stress does come hit me,
Actually, yeah, Dinesh, what do you do when you
If I'm demotivated, doggies. Very much where, whoever is around you that is absolutely fulfilling and generous with their love and affection without expecting anything. So whether it be your kids or your partner or your sister or for us with our doggies. And motivation, our batteries get recharged. So it's a good thing I answered your question.
Do you think women's empowerment is important? If so, why? I think this is sort of like a continuation of what we spoke about earlier. Like I would like women, especially women, to be much more aware of each other's successes, be in a position where they encourage rather than criticize, rather than judge. I would like, a group of women, because they always say, okay, behind a successful woman there is a supportive man or something like that. I would also like there to be a supportive girl gang behind you, who's there to have you back, who's there to pick you up in the fall, to motivate you, fix each other's crowns, right? Because I think alone we can do so much, but together we can do wonders. We can definitely conquer the world. The fear of sounding cliche, but yeah, I feel we can. And we can do a lot of things, not just for women, we can do it for the entire country. We can do things for our youth. We can do things for our men. Encourage our men to be more supportive. So many things that we can do in terms of business, in terms of education, in terms of any sort of aspect. Do you have
Yes. I think just to add to what Nisha said, with empowerment, I think it's also important for us to empower ourselves. It's great to have the support structure, friends and other women, and to have your system around you. But in the world we live in, we need to be very self-aware and very understanding of our strengths and our weaknesses, as you mentioned.
Because a lot of people don't want to be associated with it,
Exactly.
but I do believe that
We need to focus. Exactly. And when you empower yourself, you can empower others. I think you need to first be the strongest you can be in order to strengthen those around you. So women's empowerment, it's like, when you throw your head in the pond, it just trickles out. It's a wonderful aspect that, as you said, to be 365 a year, not just on special.
Oh, how can we stop gender bias? I don't think this will ever be stopped, to be honest. I don't think it's going to, because there is something called male and female. I don't think it'll ever stop, but the bias thing also, there are certain things, okay, this is my opinion about, like, when we say feminism or something, people just think, like, we say that we can do everything that we can. But I think that's not what we're saying. We're saying that we need to be treated equally, that we need to, because if we take the payment system around the world, you can be the CEO of a certain company and your husband can be another CEO. But your husband will be paid more, even for maybe a lower experience in education. Then he can be on a lower, maybe he has 2 degrees and you have 4. But he's still going to be paid more because he's a man, and her less because she's a woman. That's what we are trying to break. Right? And we want to break the glass ceiling. So that's what we're fighting for, not the fact that we can live this world without men. Men are not important. No, I mean, it's the same thing, right? We wouldn't exist without men either. So I just think we just need to find the perfect balance where we need to understand that men are men, women are women, but we need to be treated equally because we're all human, and we all have feelings, and we all need respect and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's what I think.
Just want to add to gender bias, like that breaking that glass ceiling, sure. I mean, I think in our industry, Raini, with music, if someone calls you for a gig, you will quote equally to someone like Sanuka. I would quote equally to you. So we have that because we have that understanding. We talk about it. But in the corporate world, I don't think it works like that. And women are trying so hard to break that. And also that gender bias, it starts with having men understand the worth, right? And the amount of effort and work we also put in equally, or I would say as women even harder because we have so much we are trying to prove ourselves all the time. You know, and it's a given that if a man goes into an industry and they have equal qualifications or whatever, they will get the job because that's understood. But we as we come in like the underdogs, right? So we have to keep proving ourselves. Even in this industry that we're in, we've had to really prove ourselves to get to the level where guys are at, right? And we, I think, as a collective, have managed to do that. But in other sectors, in society, in business, women are still trying really hard.
Like the fact that people think that once, especially in our entertainment industry, people think that once you're married and have kids, we need to stop our career and move on to be a housewife or a house mom or find our own little business.
So old school.
I get a lot of that these days, you know. Because
they don't expect you to work. What do you mean? This world is running so fast and everything's like changed so quickly that now even your kid has to work in order for you to survive.
I mean, you know, empower and be empowered, right? So, otherwise it's going to be a cycle of oppression where women only get to stay at home, men get to do the work, and they are the dominant character. But you get equality if both do the same thing.
But I'm really happy that I have friends whose husbands are home and the wives are working because the wives are earning so much more. And they just
that's their choice, right? Have an agreement.
Let me take care of the kids. You know, like you do your thing and I'll support you. I think that's what's more important. Like that's really important.
So open-minded.
Because that's how things are supposed to be. You know, like because they felt like okay, she has more potential in like running the whole thing, bringing food to the table. So let me take care of the other thing, and you take care of this. I think that's perfect.
It's just sharing the load, isn't it? At the end of the day, whatever it may be.
Some women, I think it's hard to break that stereotype because they think once you're married, you have to be home, cook, take care of the clean and do that.
I'm not talking about just men. Yeah, you're right. Women think that men have to bring food to the table.
That's because women have been conditioned to think that in so many, like, you know, it's generational conditioning. So I think we first need to stop the generational conditioning, then the gender bias might slightly.
So I actually got back to work when my baby was just 1 month. So not like typical work, but actually doing.
I mean, it's quite a lot, right? After having a baby to get back to work.
So I used to get a lot of hatred from women. And they were like, I'm like, so I'm earning for my baby and you're not going to pay my bills. So that's when I thought that women, as you said before, women are conditioned to think that way. We need to break it, right?
We need to break the cycle. Us talking about it itself is going to create awareness, if not anything. So that way,
you're right. Everybody has to change their minds and not just because everybody thinks that we're talking about men here. No. We are talking about men.
Please, we are not against men.
We love
men, we love women, we love humanity.
What's your biggest achievement as a woman? I feel that being able to educate, pass on knowledge, work on helping or molding the next generation. I have a wonderful niece who, from the moment she was born, I was there, and then she came to live with us. And now she's in university, so I feel that I've had some role to play with her. And I think for me, the biggest achievement has been watching my niece to an awesome young woman, and watching some of my students go into the design industry and be successful. So I look at it from loving, nurturing, building up and educating, and I think that's one of my biggest achievements.
What do you like as a little girl? Oh. Interesting. Yeah, I like that question because you get a flashback. Wow, I was like that when I was a little girl, like the growth. Yeah, like shift. I think I was actually very quiet and as a bit of a tomboy. Representatives on TV or anywhere who brown Muslim girls in media or whatever like that was not seen. So I was like you said, like create your own space where what you want to be, like you can create it there. And that's been the journey, I think, since then. Like, how can I create spaces where whatever I didn't see as a young kid, I can now kind of nourish and cultivate myself and other people, other girls around me to be a part of that.
My parents, they had to work abroad, so I think for a year I was with one of my aunts, and they were all boys, all my cousins were boys. And my sister was 4 years older than me, so she was a bit more mature, but I was the younger one who was like you said, I see them doing something, monkey see, monkey do sort of situation. But I distinctly remember once I sat and put my legs up on the chair, and my aunt was like, you can't sit like that, you don't sit like that. I found it so weird. I remember calling my mom, asking her why I'm coming back. They're so strict. Because in my house, my mom never treated us like girls. She thought we were I never had that mindset.
So me,
I'm very mischievous.
very good. I was such a girly bunny when I was young, but then there was a transition once. Became a teenager and got like a really rebellious. Like I was just start becoming really loud, and that's when I realized that I wanted to become a fashion designer. Wow! And people like my parents actually thought that I was going to be afraid, especially because my mom people had this expectation of me. Because my mom was a doctor, my father was an engineer, so I was literally like they were expecting me to become a doctor.
The path of creation, lawyers, doctors, and
yeah, and then like with that whole thing. So me, and it was not helping to like do decision. I got like 8 days for it. This is in 2002, mind you, when there was no like no fashion zone. So it went straight out there, like that's karate. And then they were like, what is that? You can do that as a hobby, you can't do that as a career. Like at that time I think it might be true, but I was so adamant. I don't know why, because there was no like proper, like it was not suggested as a career. There was no degree. Like only in Morocco campus they had a degree. Other than that there was only like diplomas. And people didn't take it seriously. This was basically stitching. So back then. But then I was so adamant. I was like, no. And then they're like, why didn't you take any days? I don't know. I just felt like, I think it was just gifted from like them. But I just didn't want to do it. Like I didn't want to. And then, okay, fine. Then I was like, I want to do arts. And that was the worst part. Like, I want to do drawing art in the art field because I want to do fun design. And then they're like, you want to do what?
South Asians parents.
Yes, and this is like a home where like they talk about like operations, and people come there to like talk about. I don't know, the conversations are like way above, like like all educational, like higher, whatever, like about engineering and doctor things. And then you want to do what for levels? And I'm like, yes, I want to do growing art because that is very, very important to pursue because I was so focused.
You sound like a really headstrong, determined.
Yeah, so focused. Then I did drawing art. Then my mom was like, okay, fine. They didn't have to do economics and business attitude. I said, fine. Other business attitude and economics, that will help my business. So I did those 2 subjects. And then, then I got selected, like my interest score was like somewhere like higher, and then I could go to law college also. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure I want to do design. I was like, you know, like, so they were like really adamant about that as well. So then, but then I didn't want to. I said I want to do designing, and then I went to Singapore. I got selected to LaSalle. I went to Singapore to become a designer. So yeah, but like, you know, life, that's why
Is giving us the
okay. yeah.
so like hesitantly like, you guys, you should wrap it up.
Yeah. So now what we're gonna do?
So then we slowly like bring it to a close.
Okay, now it's good.
I had a similar reaction.
Yeah.
Like my mom is also in medicine.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a doctor.
Doctor.
And if you go into the
What
arts,
is that? Like it's just that is
there's a lack of respect for the arts.
Yeah.
It's very underrated. But they'll be out there. I was lucky because my dad actually found the design school that I went for.
Yeah.
So after all the roles I was doing ASLs and I was doing classical civilization, geography and business, like nothing related. And I just always drew at home. So like you, I always wanted to do something with art. So I just dropped out, and after about 3 or 4 months I found basically I got to try into it. So I did, and I think people who have parents and like support system, friends, family, everyone who can just understand, accept women and men who they are instead of trying to construct their own version of them and expectations. I think it's so our time is up.
Yeah, it's done. Happy Women's Day. Happy Women's Day.
None of us did that, to be clear.
Happy Women's Day.
This was my first experience playing Jenga. Now I like it. Yeah, so
I mean, I came here specifically.
but Ashanthi de play karane because she just pulled the last. I don't know. That was just yeah. So yeah. Thanks for the opportunity, and I think Happy Women's Day.
Happy
Happy Women's Day.